No. I thought about how to best support our play caller, um, um, to support. My job is to support the coordinators on both sides of the ball. I've never really done that. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I don't think if I thought that would, help us win a game, I would do it. Schottenheimer and Brian Schottenheimer and Darrell Bevel work, I mean, hand in hand, hand in hand. They're the dialogue guys on the headsets. So, no, my job is to support him and find a way to get some offensive production against Houston.
After watching the game back, is there anything you can put a finger on as to why the run game was non-existent yesterday?
Yeah, whenever the run game doesn't work, it's at the line of scrimmage where we're not moving people, and right now that's an issue. That's the biggest issue. I know we missed one cut. We had a chance to jump cut behind and get some positive yards. We had a couple positive yards and a holding penalty, brought one back. So it always starts at the line of scrimmage, and then if there's a missed cut, which we had both of those, and we struggle when we can't run the ball. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Did you talk to any of the offensive linemen since yesterday?
Sure. Not a lot because we just had a team meeting and they're in their unit meetings now. But talked to a couple of them after the game.
You said yesterday.
What was the conversation?
I keep telling you guys this, that and it's to be honest with you, at times it's hard for me to understand how positive and how togetherness the locker room is, and how, I made a point to our team meeting today. I don't know if I've ever seen a group of defensive players sticking together and fighting and swinging, and special teams guy and hustling. It's a sudden change in their back, and I'm very fortunate. I've really never dealt with a lot of this stuff, but I've had other coaches tell me, say, this is when it gets really bad. This is when offense versus defense, and take care of the effing ball and do this and all that, and zero, none of that. All I went down is between every series, and I stuck my face in there with the D-line, and all they're doing is talking about how they're really playing well. They held a team to 102 yards rushing. They had 10 hits on the quarterback. We had 4 sacks. We had a bunch of players play good enough to win. We have certain players on our team playing the best football of their careers right now. They're stronger and more healthy and playing better than they ever have in their career. That's what I see. And then I also see their struggles going on. The good thing is, and that's why I really believe we're still going to win some games, is that once we become more productive in one area, we'll win.
Do you see frustration though within the offensive side of the ball, within all those position groups?
Within the position groups?
Like you mentioned, like the defensive line, they say they still believe they can, that they're doing great.
D-line, I'll go D-line, linebackers,
right.
Secondary.
So then on offense.
Special teams. Yeah. On offense, I feel, when things aren't performing to the level we expect, you would expect frustration. I don't see finger point. I don't see yelling at each other. I don't see fist fights on the sideline like I've heard about. I don't see any of that. But I see frustration.
You said yesterday that you had given some thought to possibly pulling Andrew Norwell. Did you actually have a conversation with George Warhop about that, or was this just something you were mulling over?
No, I didn't know if he was hurt. I don't know. He was, I don't know if he was injured, but obviously you get whatever holding penalties. I think it was 3 holding penalties, and I asked George. I said, do we need to make a change there? Is he hurt? Is he healthy? Because Norwell's a good player.
As a follow-up to that, what about in the case of Trevor? After the 3rd interception, did you give some consideration to putting CJ in there?
There was some conversation, about what would be best for Trevor at this point, and I obviously relied on Bev and Shotty to get their opinions, and we thought all 3 of us would be best to let him finish.
What you're talking about on the defense, a lot of that has to do with the leadership there. Shaq Griffin talked a lot about that after the game yesterday. Do you have enough of that kind of vocal, active leadership going on the offensive side of the ball right now?
No.
How do you foster it?
Well, if you don't have it, it's got to be from the coaching staff. It's got to be, Malcolm Brown's one of the best leaders I've been around. You got Josh Allen, you got Damian Wilson's become a heck of a leader for us. You got Ray Jenkins, and you got Shaq Griffin. Shaq Griffin has taken Tyson Campbell, who's playing very, very well, under his wing. I watch every time they come off to the sideline. And I also give credit to the Tim Walton. A lot of that stuff is not normal. That's intentional. I mean, you have to be taught that and discuss it. And that's one of my favorite parts of the game. Come down there and sit and talk to listen to the conversation going on. Same thing with the defensive line. We have a little bit of competition for spots too. Gotts is fighting Taven Bryant for a spot, and Jihad Ward trying to get in. Jihad Ward plays his best game of 2021. Roy Roberts played the best game, Tosh and Joe think maybe of his career. You had Damian Wilson play one of his best games of his career. So there's
On offense, that's not happening.
What's that?
On offense, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
How do you foster that at this point?
It's got to be the coaching staff. If you don't have that, Linder not being there, he's kind of he's a captain, one of the lead vote getters. That he's not even there. Trevor's 22 years old and he's voted as a captain. Marvin Jones, I see that from Marvin Jones. I see good leadership. I see him trying to rally guys up. I see him making plays.
You said you considered maybe pulling Trevor. Is there a conversation to be had about sitting him further as you go forward for a week or two or something like that, just to see what's better for him? Nothing? I mean,
I don't think so. I'll go have that chat with it. I think this is a learning experience for Trevor. We need to go win a game. And if we believe Trevor's our best chance to win a game, and he's going to be our quarterback here, to keep just fighting through it.
what happened when LaVisca Chenault and Laquan Treadwell ran into each other? On
One was missed assignment.
Is that sort of in what you guys have been kind of battling at receiver pretty much all year, something like that? Or there's just miscommunication, missed assignments?
Yeah, just a missed assignment.
Building off of that, that was after the interception that bounced off LaVisca's hands. Did you talk to him or Sanjay after his performance yesterday?
I've talked to LaVisca, and we haven't had our staff meeting yet because we had our team meeting. We'll do our typical game analysis at the end of when I get out of here.
Have you addressed, I guess, the reports that surfaced over the weekend with the team today or yesterday or Saturday at all? Do you talk
What
about
report now?
Huh?
What report now?
The one we asked you about the other night. No, you haven't. The one
About me, an argument with,
Yeah, and Marvin and the.
which is incorrect.
Right.
I keep asking Amy, when can Marvin play?
But did you have to talk to the team, or did you feel like you?
I did
talked to the team
mention
about
to
that?
it. I did mention it because it became, well, Amy, my dear Amy here helps me out. So this is some story about you had a heated argument with Marvin Jones. And I was like, what are you talking about? And if it becomes like, I see people stare at their phones and I mean, quickly. And the players knew it.
Do you feel like that this conversation with the players is necessary? Because today Tom Pelissero publicly doubled down on what he said, that he insisted that all the things that he wrote in his mind, according to his sources, absolutely happened. So you have these two diametrically opposed
I'm sorry,
versions
so
of
he
reality.
doubled down on that I had a heated argument with?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
But we gotta move on. And can I give out Marvin's text number or something? Is that inappropriate, Aim? Okay.
Did you guys give up on the run too early
Good question.
yesterday?
Good question.
But is there a good answer?
I would say we probably did. What happens, you get down a little bit, you get frustrated, and as a play caller, you get stuck in 2nd and 14, 2nd and 10. 8 carries for 0 yards, whatever, 8 yards or something like that. So, but we have to establish the run.
But late in the third quarter, you're still only 10 points down. So, there's still, you can still run the ball at that point, can't you?
Sure.
You've talked about the morale of the locker room. Have you ever, at a point in your career, had to worry about the morale of a coaching staff before? I mean, that's part of these reports that have come out, is that there's, I guess, a dysfunction in the coaching staff and disagreements that are happening.
Yeah, when a phase struggles, you have to find out. You got to be, as a leader, an expert at cause and effect. Why? Why is I don't want to start picking against offense versus defense, but I see, our defensive staff working great. I see offense, there's some issues that they're fighting through, and it shows on the field. Once again, am I saying there's bad people? Am I exploding? Am I doing? No, I just see it. You can see it. It shows up on the field. It also shows up on the field when you see a group, and I don't want this to be offense versus defense, but you see a defense perform at a very high level, guys playing their best football of their career. The guys are healthy and stronger than they've ever been, and they're playing well. And then you say, how's that going? Well, it's going fantastic. How's special teams going? We are one of the top net punt teams in the country. Our guy, Logan Cook, is killing the ball, and our coverage units are as good as I've witnessed. The score is 17-0. We got a bad record, and I see 5 guys swarming the ball like their hair is on fire. How's that chemistry going? A+. Well, you guys are struggling offensively. I know. So there's good people trying to figure it out.
As these struggles continue offensively week in and week out, how worried do you get about Trevor's mentality? I mean, do you feel like this is wearing on him?
Sure. I worry about James' mentality. I worry about Marvin Jones' mentality, because that's reality. What you just said is reality. Reality of an athlete and reality of a coach. When you work so freaking hard at something and it's not executing. So that's an absolute, that's what happens. And I have experienced that. Some of this other stuff, the stories, and I've never heard of that kind of stuff in my life. But I have heard about frustration, because every coach and every athlete have dealt with frustration.
As you mentioned, the special teams unit, if that fumble had actually stood, it would have been Andre Sisco that would have been credited.
Beautiful, I saw it, we showed it today.
With 4 games still to go, obviously he's performing great on special teams, but a guy like him, a guy like Walker Little,
Yeah.
how do you fit them? Do you plan on
Well,
fitting
Cisco's
them?
playing a little bit more, I believe. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but yeah, that's a conversation.
And then Walker as well. I know
Walker.
obviously Jay was inactive, and so was Jordan. Is there a plan to get them
That
integrated?
conversation's going on as right when we're done.
You've been, and during the course of this tailspin here, you've gone 2, 3, 4 games sometimes without the ball going down the field, without even 16 or 17 air yards have not happened. And yet yesterday,
16, 17.
3 times of actual air yards where Trevor's making an attempt to get the ball down the field, where the ball's in the air for 16 or 17 yards, as opposed to, an 8-yard catch and they might run it 12, 13 yards. But yesterday, you made 3 attempts on one series, and then there was another one that was late. So was there a conscious attempt to do that? Or was it because, hey, we're not scoring any points, let's just start chucking it down the field and see if we can get a PI or something?
Yeah, you also saw them sitting on routes. If you look closely, the Marvin Jones had a heck of a catch. We ran 2 back-to-back, Treadwell on the right, Marvin on the left, and they sat down, and you could see it. And hey, they're sitting on us, take a shot down the field, and we do, holding, come back. We felt the fatigue factor a little bit, because once you run the corners a little bit, take another shot, and he hit it to Treadwell on the right.
Trevor said yesterday, offensively, they don't know, or he doesn't know what they do well, or what they. So if you're going to pick something the final 4 weeks to do well offensively, would it be the run game? Would it be something else? What would it be?
I think quick passing is something that he did very well. I think we started at a very high completion percentage to start the game yesterday. The third downs, we had 4 excellent third downs right in a row. And one was a slant to LaVisca, one was an Ohio to LaVisca, one was an outcut to Marvin, and one was a quick one to Tavon. Tavon. So that's what I would say. Throwing and catching is something that I thought we did. Obviously we had a drop and a pick. I'm not giving up on the run game. We can't, not with a back like James, and we have to do that.
Do you have speaking of run game, do you have an update on Carlos? I know he was in the concussion protocol.
He's in the protocol.
Okay.
Is it alarming when you're this far into the season and you're still kind of trying to figure out what you do well offensively?
Not alarming. It's frustrating.